Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, I welcome Mr. Mahesh K Patil, and he will talk on the topic Agri-tourism and consultancy. I now request the speaker to begin. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Mahesh Patil, founder of Agro-tourism based in Goa. I've been in agro-tourism business for the last 10 years, but however, I had a personalized experience as a sustainability head in a private sector company. I was also an environmental expert on Coastal Zone Management Authority and later Chairman Pollution Control Board. At the outset, I thank the Agri.com for giving me opportunity and inviting me here to share few of my ideas on agro-ecotourism. Basically, I will speak in general, not of consultancy, but what are the opportunities there exist in agro-tourism throughout country. However, I'll also share with you some of the examples which we are doing in Goa. Now, this is our NV Eco Farm, our logo, and that is purely a big banyan tree and surrounding a cashew plantation. And this is at the entry point where you enter our farm. So when you call of agri-ecotourism, it's a combination of agriculture, you maintain the ecology, also give a tourism all benefit where a tourist want to enjoy. The eco has a double meaning here. One is ecological balance or ecological resource you use, and from there you derive economic benefit. So eco, as I said, but many of the other places you just derive economic benefit from the ecological resource. However, over a period of time, the ecological value of the area or the site or the place get degenerated, and then the diminishing return starts on economic front. So here's an issue where ecological and economics both have to preserve and thus enhance the value of the property for a landowner as well as for the customers who visits. So typically this is agro-tourism. So must have heard a lot of tourism activities. Like you got a sea tourism, nature tourism, adventure tourism. So people go all the places. And in fact, there are some places in India, you talk of Kashmir, you go for a nature because of the climate and environment. You come to Goa, there's a more. You go to Mysore, Bangalore for the architectural historical site. But wherein nobody thought very seriously of agro-tourism. Now, for agro-tourism to become successful, the agriculture has to be an inbound important issue. So first, one has to manage agriculture very effectively, professionally, and using old wisdom combination with the scientific practices. And that makes you an agriculture much better. So you see now, and then the agriculture, once you do better way, you incorporate certain tourism features, and then it becomes an agro-tourism. So agro-tourism, if you see a definition, it refers to a people visiting working farms or other agriculture operation for the purpose of enjoyment, education, or other active involvement. So in any other place normally you go for only enjoyment, tourism. But here you get the enjoyment, plus you get yourself educated of various agriculture practices and other involvement. There are many other agriculture and allied activities which enforce from started production, processing, and value addition. So this shows it encompasses wide variety of activities that farmers also has to diversify, and by diversification, by people coming in, his income also gets increased. Like Honorable Prime Minister said, we have to double the farmer's income. You cannot double the farmer income in short period of time with only production. There are restrictions over productivity, quality, and how much you can increase. And then accordingly, you have to increase the inputs like fertilizers, irrigations, and everything. So in this case, agrotourism is one wherein even maybe a small farmer, not as a big farmer, can put a home store in home and they can increase his income. So that is a way agrotourism has a huge potential to increase your income. Now, I just want to I want to just speak with this example how it starts. You just see this is a map of Goa. You have one side, you have a sea, which is known Arabian Sea, and beautiful beaches, and that was a population surviving, thriving on the tourism. Everybody wants to come Goa for that. At the same in the midland, it's called a hinterland, midland, where is agriculture little bit of, and then the boundary at the eastern side, you have a thick green Western Ghat. It's a biological hotspot with a huge biodiversity and different type of biodiversity. I'm not talking animal, birds, reptiles, flora, and fauna. So you have both the type. So initially, the tourism had come very big way into this agriculture side, to beach side, sorry. But as the thing developed, and now the increases, awareness has come, more and more agriculture-based lot of farms which are converted to tourism. Now that the mid portion, if you see, there are a lot of mines. And the mining was one of the major income earner. But you see, over a period of time, the mines are exhausted. But this is a natural resource which you cannot last forever. But while doing mining, you try and tend to degrade the natural resource what you have. Is that you destroy the land, you change the total geography and the physiography of the soil, water level goes down, and the diversity almost destroyed. And once the mining is over, there's no economic activity. So that means people has to do something to overcome these issues and back to the farming. So here also I'll share you some examples wherein how you post mining, you can reclaim the land for agriculture and the tourism. Now this is a schematic diagram. What I'm to tell you, what basically we are talking about agriculture. You said agriculture, we have land, soil, water, plants, and animals. 4 component. But if this 4 component, if you put it into 3 quarter, one side you say agriculture. So agriculture, your livestock, farming, and farming. Then that's only what we are concentrated in the past. But today, if you start with agriculture, farmer used to maybe purely farmer are largely into the known farming. So they will create employment for self. At the same time, based on the season or the time of the sowing crop or harvesting crop, give employment. But when you start the agro-tourism, he would create a gainful employment for him or her, as well as local population. So that's why you go to local population employment. Also, he has a food, there's a milk or a meat or egg. The dairy industry, which he was dependent on selling his product outside, he could able to sell themselves. So you see, other side is an tourism. So the tourism has impact on this increased livestock, increased food processing, gives you employment, as well as tourists can get education. You have flora, different plants of plants, different animals, then night trails where you can see different birds, and that can be included. So this agriculture, agro-tourism also gives an education. You come to adventure, you go for trekking, you go for sky, observatory. So observatory, astronomy, you can put a tent there in the farm, watch night hundreds of stars, which you are unable to see in the urban cities because of the light pollution. You got everywhere light. So it's a dark environment where you can watch light. You can do campfire, you can cook, many of the things. And all this has a very less impact on environment because farmer is doing his own activity. In fact, he has increased his efficiency to little extent. And then visitors would also give him a best of the technology available in the cities for irrigation, for harvesting, from crop culture. There will be endemic flora and fauna that can be seen, and also some improved farmer or progressive farmer, with the support from other groups, can have an environmental awareness program. So thus, so agritourism, where you have existing nature resource with a slight intervention of technology, tourism can enhance. And today it's a need of the hour because many of the students who learn in the notebooks, but they cannot, especially from the city or urban background, do not know what exactly happens. So not only they can watch, they can experience, but you can get a hands-on experience. Now you see here, there are so many ecotourism activities I have related. Now, when you say agriculture, sometimes you talk of agriculture. Now people are doing organic food. So how the organic food is made? There's a dairy, there's a poultry, vegetable cultivation, greenhouse farming. Polyhouse farming. You can go for the flowers, vegetables, spices, different thing. There's honey. We know only honey. We heard of honey, but rearing honeybee is also not only increase the income, it also increase the pollination of the plants, and then one can see how it happens in the agriculture farm, and it could be a huge activity of the farmer. He prepares honey, his income increases, and same honey he could sell it to the customer or tourist who comes in. Arts and crafts demonstration. You could have a small fishing pond. One can do fishing over there. And otherwise, the knowledge. You can have a knowledge of, biodiversity park, floriculture. You have a small village festivals, and different local farming system of the villages. That means agro-tourism encompasses everything that is present in village. The knowledge farmer has, new modern technology of irrigation, sprinkler, drip, you can have. Nowadays, you can put solar. So even a solar light, they can generate so many things. So this is a holistic approach for agro-ecotourism. So if you generalize and see, today there's a huge trend of getting for agro-ecotourism. One, there's a climate change. It's getting warm, it's hot, and everybody wants to be in the villages or the rural background, and they don't go to the beaches. So that's the reason there's a huge potential for developing agro-ecotourism. This is, as I said earlier, in that area where the mining exhausted, one can convert back mine into a land use such a way that it will support agriculture and tourism. However, while doing this, one has to keep very clear idea. As I'm saying, policy intervention anywhere, because one cannot do type of development one undertakes in the city or urban setting. The farming, agro-tourism, when you're planning, even maybe many people also go, there has to be a carrying capacity study. And for which, first thing is that minimum should have a good plantation of biodiversity. Not only it has to be maintained, but it has to be increased. Secondly, government rule has to be very, very clear. Since there is in certain areas, I know where it is in Pune or most of the city outskirts, there's a mad rush for developing this agro-tourism. But there has to be control. There should be farming or agriculture has to be mainstay, and tourism has to support at the background. For which there's a reason there should be limit on the construction. Should not allow more than 5% of FAR. FAR is flows area index, where 5%, not more than 5% area has to be covered under permanent structures, the rooms or any other structure. The more you structure, then its entire essence of agriculture will be lost. Then you need to have only a ground plus one, maximum ground plus one structure, preferably ground, and then use all local material construction for housing everywhere. And then water harvesting has to be a major source, not to get water from outside unfilled. It has to be more reliant on water harvesting and enriching biodiversity. At the same time, promoting local cuisines. So these are some of the examples which I've said you, some of the mines like Agro mines and inventory. So first, when you're doing for agriculture, agro-tourism, one need to do a proper inventory of existing resource. You don't know where you don't know what does exist or what tourism requires. So do an inventory Do you have housing? Do you have power? Do you have water? Do you have biodiversity? There has to be a scientific exercise, not to the extent of making AIA or EMP, but however, minimum standard has to be set. Farmer maybe do himself or get some outside help. Then one has to develop a master plan, because initially you don't understand to what extent your tourism will grow. And as it grows, then you got haphazard development starts, because there is a lot of demand. You start creating houses, creating sort of swimming pool or water bodies. So roads at different places, and then some places you start cutting the trees. So that's the reason you need to have a master plan of overall development. May not implement at a first time, because there is huge capital investment is very high. But time to time, one can review the master plan, see how does it help or how it evolves, and then implement. But minimum a blueprint or master plan has to be there, and one can implement that in a phased manner. You can see this photograph. There is a mining pit surrounding all agriculture plantation is taken. In this pit, entire water is reclaimed, because normally in a mining pit you have water which is like sterile. There is nothing. It's just a water in a pit. There is no microorganism. There is no bioplankton. There is no zooplankton. However, by adding cow dung and other organic manure, you can enrich the soil. After enriching, you could release biological life. Here we have released like Microbrachium rosenbergi, that are the mush type of the prawns. Then you have fishes like rohu, katla, mragal, and today they are cultivated. This is done many years ago, but now it's done everywhere. Commercial cultivation of fish, which gives a huge reward. And then you have a lot of water sports activities, farming activities. So this is one of the year. Like in agriculture farm, you can have a nakshatra garden. It's like an astral garden based on Indian traditional system, astrology and botany or Ayurveda. Where every zodiac sign is assigned with one particular tree. And there is a star or nakshatra, what we call nakshatra. So you have layout, do a mapping or signages. Those signages would also tell not only for the interest of the common people, like the name of the plant, its a medicinal value, but also scientific aspects like the family, genera, species it belongs to. So when a student comes, it becomes information and education. Many of these plants they are not able to do elsewhere, and the medicinal value. You can use a local material. This is one of the example I'm showing you, the bamboo. The bamboo is available everywhere, and if you are treated well and all, it can be a better than steel. Last also equivalent more than number of years of steel. To show this is one ground plus one structure, we are made of bamboo. And this bamboo, locally there are a lot of bamboo, they're like local artisans, but they may lack the treatment which is available now. So if you get this treatment facility or a treatment people, just to make a one structure, the replicable model local artisans can make. So to ensure that local resources are consumed, local artisans' skills are enhanced, and this is the best structure and for the high-end guests who like to enjoy this. Similarly, there are so many examples like, this is banned now, elephant bathing in the water, but, animal grazing, feeding them, that could be a lot of exciting activities that can be undertaken for agro-ecosystem tourism of the guest. So here, as I said, I give you another example of NV Eco Farm, which we did. We had existing farm of spice, which was cultivating different croppings like an arecanut, coconut, other things. And then we did a planning and started plantation. Now, I just want to tell you a little brief history, how Goa, spice, specifically agro-ecotourism is gaining name everywhere. When Goa, it has happened around 30 years back. Because we used to get a foreign guest who would come for seeing the beaches, but many people wanted to go in the farm, and nobody was aware of this concept. So one or two entrepreneurs have started this work. They would take a day tour. Farmer would go, just a visitor would go to the farm. Just they get around and they serve the Goan authentic food. And that way the charter flight, the tourists would come from Russia, UK, then Ukraine, and all other places, but they have not seen such a greenery in their countries. They are very, very excited to see these plants and they would love it. But however, over a period of time, it become monotonous because one has to improve the value. Here differences I want to make. Utilizing existing resources and enhancing the resources. Now, going forward, if today develop people out of angling, water sports, bird trail, in the night excursions where you can see birds, butterflies, or spiders, and different type of animals. And that way you are enhancing the value. At the same time, you are not cutting the trees for more accommodation. There is less accommodation, but more environment. That gives you more benefit in return. You can see here the spices plantation of like black pepper, chili, areca nut, turmeric, and that can be shown to the people. So also your market comes to you. You don't have to go to market. So you get a higher value and all product is sold. You can see here pineapples, areca nut, papaya, that can also add value. We have a formal, not very a restaurant. You serve their local food in a prepared from the, you can say, soil to plate. That's how the concept one can develop in agriculture because they can harvest themselves, they can see this, and the organic food they can do it. See, one natural water resources where you are flowing, if there's a pond, now this is a stream you can see, they can take bath, you can harvest, play with the local fish. And here there is no chlorine is added, no other chemicals, a chemical-free water. Extra water which flowing down goes back to the agriculture. So you are not only conserving and not only conserving environment, conserving resources and uses everywhere. Consuming food again. Even though you have to add something more, if you get a good response for agriculture, one can add these adventure activities like wall climbing, rappelling, zip line. So this gives an additional incentive for the tourists, especially for the younger generation, to visit to the farm, enjoy this, and then going further, if you can develop a better facility, a big corporate nowadays are very open for their outbound training program. So they would come, give outbound program, and that gives you a lot of money. So one could see agri-ecotourism, first you start for the farmer, just clean the area, maintain is better, and one by one can add the more facilities, and that's where the income increases. Birds, which are naturally present in the farm. Bird tourism is a billion-dollar industry throughout the world. Everybody wants to try to do bird, and farm is a place where you get a seasonal bird. There are some birds which are inhabitant to the area, some are seasonal bird. They arrive. You can see the many photographs. Some of the rare bird, endangered bird, migratory birds. So bird tourism, once you can develop, and with a less training, probably the farmer would not understand your zoological name. But if you tell them and show, they'll show these are the birds arriving this particular season. They nest in particular season. So they give a local knowledge of the birds, and that he doesn't know. It's a huge value to the tourist who comes in. Similarly, butterflies. I don't know how many of you read. Few days back, there's a beautiful article on butterfly tourism. Unfortunate that our farm, where we develop butterfly and eco farm, that is also cited in that article. So butterfly, you get the different host plant. Butterfly's life cycle is simple. You get larva, pupae, caterpillar, pupae, and the adult. So these butterflies requires their own host plant to multiply. So you go and collect the host plant, the corner of the plant. Butterfly also helps in aiding the pollination of the plants. So you can population increases, they looks beautiful, and they are like throughout the year present. If you give them a host plant or flowering plants, so it also enhances the beauty of the place, like garden. But the butterfly gives you different type of experience to the especially younger generation. One can develop your own house, a few rooms into a farm stay or homestay where people can enjoy, stay one night or 2 nights. Or as the money improves, you can put this type of cabins, wooden cabins with a magnolia tiles on the top, very, very unique, and doesn't occupy a large area, but gives a good experience to the people. So similarly, in this process, you also do organic farming. Now, when the organic farming comes in, one can teach them a crop rotation, crop residue, animal manures, off-farm organic waste, mineral grade rock additives. All this can be added, and you can see in the photograph here. You create a manure from your own waste. You got a canteen. Waste food goes into the vermiculture. You get a leaf that can come. Cow dung can give you, and then probably some you can give also like Jivamrut, biofertilizers, biopesticides. So all that made into a systematic effort, later documentation and signage can serve as an excellent place for agro-tourism. Now, for this, it do not require a big area. A small farmer can make it a small way. Big farmer, part of the area can be devoted also agro-tourism, or maybe larger area. His like bullock cart, tractor can also act as a very good demo material for the tourist to operate or just have a ride. you, you know that large population lives in city and they do not have such experiences. With such experiences, you get money. In fact, there is a concept like one can come and do volunteerism, and people love it. They come on Sunday, take active participate in crop plantation, weeding, harvesting, or processing. And that way, agro-tourism can happen into big way. I will try to play a small film of one agro-tourism.
The Western Ghats, an ancient mountain range and a UNESCO World Heritage Site, one of the world's greatest biodiversity hotspot, lies a land where nature still breathes in its purest form.
Which is this now?
It's it.
Okay. Oh, I think there's some problem in the video sharing.
Okay. You can
Yeah.
proceed.
So, I'm open for any questions. Any.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir, for a wonderful
you have.
presentation. I will take up the questions. In the meantime, is it possible to, yeah, slightly adjust your camera, sir? Your face is getting cut. Slightly adjust the camera, sir. We can see only half of your face. No.
Okay.
Slightly adjust. Yeah. This is perfect.
So-
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. I'll move on to the questions now.
Okay. Yeah.
The first question is, what is the initial investment required to start an agri-tourism project?
So it depends upon from place to place. If you ask me honestly, it's none to a few crores. In the sense, if a farmer wants to start agro-tourism, he has a farm, only he has to maintain, keep it clean, and then he's a cooking for himself. He can cook for another 10 people based on a capability. You start agro-tourism, serve them rotis or local vegetables, local chicken and eggs. So you start from very minimal investment of few thousand to few lakhs to one can start developing initially with putting a good road, good cottages. Nowadays, everybody want to sleep in the AC. So it goes to few lakhs or few crores. So it depends upon the place. It depends upon the intent. It depends upon what action you want to start immediately.
Okay. So how long does it typically take to achieve break even?
Oh, see, again, the break even depends upon how much capital you are put in. But if you put more than 1 crore, it will take minimum 5 years, 3 to 5 years to overcome for agriculture, or agro-tourism. Because this particular activity, of course, is becoming more and more popular now because of climate change, very warm, and everybody wants to go to the agriculture, to the nature. So they fast. But then, like other hotels project, the returns are very slow. So I would recommend one has to concentrate purely first on his agriculture. That remains as a core competency. Even if a more gas comes, gas can stop anytime, or other person can offer a better facility. They'll go somewhere else. So agriculture should remain as a core, and tourism would be secondary. over a period of time, probably tourism income is much more than the agriculture income. But the actual remain first. So you are not less than 3 years for sure.
Okay. What are the biggest operational challenges in running an agri-tourism venture?
If you ask me, one is for a farmer. I'm talking farming point of view, because people who have money or industrialists there is no other objection. For farmer, biggest objection or biggest hindrance is the capital. So money. So suppose a farmer, a small or medium-sized farmer, want to start agro-tourism initially. Probably you want to put a restaurant. Minimum it will cost around 15-20 lakhs. Then all equipment of modern, like in a fridge, tables, utensils. So that's capital is a number one, I feel personally. Secondly, I don't know, from state to state differ. Approvals comes easy, not very great. But the moment you start growing, then the approvals is also a problem. And third is marketing, because farmer is not good at marketing. So state government, their tourism department, which should handhold him. Because unless you spend so much money and don't do proper marketing, the tourist will not come to your place.
Okay. Sir, what are the key requirements in terms of land, location, and infrastructure?
So see, it depends upon where you are based at. Now, I believe you are from Bangalore. So Bangalore is outskirt. If you want to put in a farmer agro-tourism, probably few days will go. Of course, it's nice, but Bangalore people mostly prefer and go to either Kurg or what is that? Chikamangur. Because natural setting is there, is the weather cool, calm, so that's fine. But if you put up outskirt of Bangalore, somebody who do not want to travel 500 or 300 kilometers, they would go there. So that is one. Secondly, the core is an agriculture. Otherwise, in hotel, any good hotel, you'll get swimming pool, one can play, one can get good food, but you need to give them beyond experience. So you should be able to show a grown-up crop, how the crop grows, and one farmer has to be little explaining to them. But they wouldn't just come and see. You should have this type of a sugarcane plantation. If you have, you should be able to show them and also possibly give a sugarcane juice. Or if you have good dairy, 7-8 cows, give them fresh A1 or A2 milk and tell them there's a difference. And once they taste, they'll immediately come to know what's the difference between they get in the market city what they purchased, unpolluted, organic, or local varieties. Similar food made on the firewood, or possibly rotis made from the local bajra or jowar, whatever. So you need to have a local content intact. Whether other all should be nature, and these are the major content. You can't concrete a cement jungle and call it agro-tourism. I think it will become a hotel, and you will lose your client.
Okay. I'll take up the next question, sir. So can small farmers with limited land also start agri-tourism? If yes, how?
Come again? Small farm can do. At least I have so many examples in Goa, wherein people have started minimum agriculture. Even 1 acre holding person has done it. But they maintain his farm clean. He has got a good biodiversity. He, along with his family, he don't hire anybody. Serves a local authentic food. That way makes some money. He makes double the money or 3 times the money than from the agriculture produce. So size is not important. Intent is important. Now you want has to put somewhat 10, 15 rooms of staying. Small farmer cannot put it. And even if you put it, then it will become hotel and all his plants will go. So even a size or a small farmer is not an issue at all.
Okay. Sir, what type of consultancy services do you provide to aspiring agri-tourism entrepreneurs?
See, as I said, I've been working in corporate for many years, and then I started my own agri farm, which is you can write is you visit the website called NV Eco Farm, N for N capital, N for North, V for Victory, Eco Farm, nvecofarm.com. So that should do. I was also former chairman of Pollution Control Board in Goa, just as 8 months when I given up. So I support everybody who is doing work. I can help them in planning, what mistake they should not make, based on that area, what should be immediately important. That all I can tell. And I can share with, if there are young agri-tourism entrepreneur, I'm a member of also All India Committee of Government on Agriculture Committee, where we support agri-entrepreneurs, not necessarily tourism, any agricultural value addition activity or processing. 5 to 25 lakhs is the government of India gives. I'm one of the member for Karnataka, Maharashtra, Goa, and Gujarat. So we can apply for a Kriship or Raftar they call. You can go on the website and we support you financially up to 25 lakhs.
Okay. Sir, how can interested individuals connect with your organization for guidelines?
I can share my mobile number or email ID with you, and they can connect me directly.
Okay. Do you offer training, project planning, or end-to-end support?
Yeah, we could do that. Depends upon somebody wants to do. Certainly, we can do it.
Okay.
We are done for mining big companies, but I'll be happy to support. Like I did not elaborate on mining, but also advisor to the Aditya Birla Group, Hindalco Industries. And
Okay.
so for which we have done mines in Karnataka, Orissa, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh. It's a big one. But a farmer at a lesser amount or whatever, I could always do it. I'll be happy to support farmers.
Okay. How important is organic or natural farming in agri-tourism projects?
Yeah. So see, for farmer, first of all, visitor looks at a greenery or different type of crops. They're happy. But the moment you go for the organic, it adds a value to you as well as to the tourist. So they get organic products. They know what is organic. They can differentiate the taste between the two, and they are ready to pay premium to you. And also gives a better publicity that they're organic. So organic is not a must because everything cannot be organic initially. You can always do in a phased manner. But however, the people who wants to go for the organic is also always add value, and one should aim for it.
Okay. What new trends or innovations are emerging in this field, sir?
This emerging trend, as I said, many people wants to go to agro-tourism, but it's not agro-tourism. That is bad, one side. But other side is good that in a village's farm you go. So the most important trend, what I'm observing now, the bird watching. Earlier, somebody may shoot a bird or kill a bird because they're eating a crop. But the bird tourism gives you double income or 3 times, 4 times money because some specialist bird you find. So people will do a conservation for the birds. Similar plant species. There is, I don't know whether if you go in the monsoon, Goa started something called as a bioluminescence fungi which emits light in the night. So it looks very nice with the UV light, and people go. Similarly, with the UV light, you can see night scorpions. They don't bite, but in the holes, it shines like anything. You got scorpions, you got crabs. This thing is going on. Also, it's a tourism trekking. People go in the early in the morning, trek around a farm, take bath. They don't want a chlorine treated water, but they like the clean water. So water which is used for the farming, you make a small pond, pump the water from a well or wherever. People take bath, not chlorinated, clean natural water, and then you can use for the agriculture. So only maybe additional pumping or a pond is required, but doing that you get a lot of income. Also, the homemade organic food is a let us say trends. So these are the trends which are coming up in village level, and people want to spend along with the nature. It's a good. Today is a Earth Day, fortunately, and people want to spend time not in 5 star but with the nature, and that is the emerging trend which farmers should catch up.
Okay. Sir, what are the first few steps you would recommend for someone starting?
What is that? First check.
What are the first few steps you would recommend for someone planning to start now?
See, I would say first of all, uh, just one person is doing agro-tourism, you can't do it. You should first say what is your USP, unique selling point. So the agriculture everybody has. But to become an agriculture entrepreneur, you should see what is. There is one, how far you are from the city, because villagers will not come. The one has to be very clear, and you can't scale it up. Everybody has a farm. So how close you are from the city? What is the best connectivity? Roads are good or not? You should have reasonably well power line, because today being a hot, everybody wants fan. You may like it or not, but in agriculture, even they want to come agriculture, but they want comfort. So good power, good road, hygiene and clean, important, and safety. It's, you have to take care of the safety, that pets, power, everything you maintain in very, at least health and hygiene, I say, that has to be. These are the first steps one need to look. And secondly, and do not have to grow fast, go slow and effective marketing. In fact, marketing for agrotourism is a word of the mouth. One person goes, he puts their photograph, she puts their photograph, they tell their friend, they put their photograph on Facebook, Instagram, and we become popular. So in short, first thing what you have to say is, farm should be clean, nice, healthy, and safety.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. We have now completed the round of questions. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, we would like to thank Mr. Mahesh K Patil for answering the questions. This meeting will now be closed.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome, sir. Bye-bye.